Okay, that's done. Perfect. All right, guys. So today we're going to talk about goal setting. Now, this is going to be like a 2-week um, course, if you like, because Fitz has kindly contacted me and asked me to talk to you guys about goal setting and about time management. But because both topics actually are quite big and there's a lot, that we can talk about them, I thought you just wouldn't do justice if we did 1 week. If we did it all in one go, because that would just be not enough. That just, it wouldn't give you as much as you'd like to get from this training, etc. So that's why I thought, you know what, we're going to go ahead and do a training in 2 weeks' time, in 2 sessions. So this way you guys can get a better, if you like, value for your time or value for money or whatever you call it, because I really want you to see these topics as important and really to act on them, because the last thing I want to do here is go ahead for the next, half an hour, tell you whatever, how great goal setting is and how great next week time management is. And you guys do absolutely nothing about it and carry on doing whatever you've been doing up until now. Because that's what most people do. Let's face it, sometimes, a lot of my trainings that I do, they are free of charge and I put them publicly, etc. And I've had people approach me and they say, why do you share these trainings for free? Like, why don't you charge people for all of this knowledge and all of this information, etc.? And my answer is, it's very, very simple. Because I know that 90% of people who listen to this, they will do absolutely nothing. Right? So even if I share my best strategies, like how I recruit people and how I do my time management and how I set my goals, most people will do nothing about it. They will never take advantage of those things. They will never apply these things to their own life, etc. And that's the problem, because if information was enough, then all of you would be healthy, fit, rich, and in perfect relationships. Because information is available, isn't it? Right? But most people, even though they get the information, they don't actually do the thing that they need to do in order to apply this information, right? So more importantly than getting this training is actually you guys doing it. So what I would like to ask you guys to do is, if at all possible, grab a pen and paper, because you're definitely going to want to write some things down today. If you haven't got a pen and paper, then maybe put this window down and open a Word document or something so you can type in, or a notepad or whatnot, right? But have something where you can write these things down, because if you only listen to this thing, it's just going to go in one ear and come out of the other ear, so it's really important that goal setting, it's all about writing. As you can see right now on the screen, hopefully, it's about writing goals. Goals are not goals unless they are written down. If it's not written down, it's a dream, it's a wish, it's a fantasy. When it gets written down, it gets real, right? If you went to a big company, let's say you went to Tesco's or Sainsbury's and you ask them, what are your projections for the next 6 months, for the next 1 year? What are your goals? How much money you want to earn, etc.? Do you think these guys would just go off the top of their head, or would they have some sort of a document or a file that actually outlines the whole strategy for the next 6 months, for the next year, how many cans of beans they will sell, etc.? These guys know their numbers, they know their business, right? And everything is systemic, everything is on paper. So 6 months later, they can come back and go, these were our goals, these were our projections, let's see where we hit, right? And because they do that, guess what? They are multi-million pound company, etc. And most big businesses, that's what they do. Okay, so when it comes to goal setting, there is 6 keys to goal setting. Number 1, goals have to be realistic, but also challenging. What do I mean by that? Well, if you are at 3% level right now, which you shouldn't probably be because you're on the leaders call, right? But if you're just getting started, let's say you're at 3% level, to set a goal to hit diamond next month would be probably somewhat unrealistic, right? Unless you're a superstar coming in with like 100,000 people team from another company or whatever, I just can't see that happening. I've never seen that happen before, etc. So that would be a first one, right? So it has to be realistic, where there is actually a chance for you to achieve it. However, they have to be challenging. So, even though we talk about realistic, too many people, they're not, their failure is not caused by huge goals and them not achieving them. Their failure is because they set too little goals and they hit them all the time, right? Their goal this month is to make sure they have enough money to pay the bills. That's their goal. And if that's their goal, what's the chance of them making 15,000 this month? It ain't gonna happen, right? Because they're not even looking at that direction. They're not even aiming at that, right? So your goals have to be challenging. They have to stretch you. They have to make you work hard. They have to make you feel uncomfortable, right? Number two, have I written down my goals in precise detail, right? So your goal has to be written down in detail. Now, the more detail, the better it is, because it's like anything. Like, imagine you live here in UK and you decided to build your mansion in Ghana, right? Now, and imagine you can't go to Ghana to oversee the works, etc. So you would have to send pretty precise details to the builders over in Ghana, so they have built the house of your dreams, wouldn't you? You wouldn't just go, oh, build me a house, right? And I hope it's going to be just the way I imagine it, right? It wouldn't happen, would it? You would have to send them a written down goal, like I want the tiles to be this color, and I want the bathroom to be this way, and I want windows facing that side, and blah, 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 blah. You'd have to describe the whole thing in such a detail that without you being there, they would build the house of your dreams. Well, guess what? The universe, the God, your subconscious, whatever you like, they can build the life of your dreams. They can build your goals. But in order for it to build your goal, for you to achieve that goal, you have to describe it in a very detail. You see, again, many people have these conflicting thoughts. You know, one day they want to build a huge business, other day they feel lazy to get off the bed and things like that, right? So if you are that place, if you haven't got a precise plan and precise goal, then the universe is going, I don't know what you want, right? You're confusing the shit out of me, right? So make up your own mind, right? Write this thing down, know what you want, and I can help you to get that, right? So that's number two. Number three, have I set a deadline for attaining my goal, right? So again, a goal without a deadline is just a dream, right? Because it's never going to happen. I heard somewhere they said that the work expands to the amount of time we give it. So if you have to do a certain job and you've given a week, guess what? Guess how long you're going to take it? You're probably going to take a week. If you have the same job, but you've given a month, guess how long you're going to take? You're going to take a month, right? It's just the way we operate as human beings. You know, if we're given a certain period of time, we'll make sure we take the whole time, right? Very few people, when given 6 months to do something, go and do it in the first week and go, I'm done. You know, what's next? Most people will go, let me, make sure that it spreads out, and that's what they're going to do. So you have to set a deadline, because if there is no deadline, guess how long it's going to take? Forever, right? You will never get there, right? You'll go, one day I'll be that level. One day I'll be that level. And one day, it's ain't on a week, right? We'll go Monday to Sunday, right? There's no one day, right? So that's it. Number 4, do I believe absolutely that I have the ability to accomplish my goals? Now, you see, you have to believe in it. Even if you right now think like, oh, this is a stretch, for me to achieve that, I don't know if but you have to believe that you have all the abilities, that you will have the grace and the help of universe and the help of your sponsors or whatever it takes for you to achieve it. You will find the books to read, you'll find the people to speak, you'll find the right prospects for you to build that thing, right? Because if other people have built it, you can build it too. The first people who started this business 13 years ago, they had to have faith, because they didn't know if this thing is going to work out. They didn't know if this product going to sell. They didn't know if people are going to join this business, etc. Now we do 150 million pounds a year. We've got 700,000 people in this business. We have pretty much established that this business works, right? You don't need to have faith anymore. You just have to go and do what other people do. That's all. So you have to have that absolute belief that I will achieve it, right? I will get it. If other people got it, I will get it too. Number 5, do I use my time effectively? Now, we're not going to talk about that too much this week. Next week is going to be the time management. It's going to be the game plan. We're going to talk about daily method of operation and other things that you have to have in place in order for you not to pretend like you're working. Because many people, they pretend like they're working. They go, I got up, I got dressed. That's just like working. I got up, I got in a car and I drove somewhere. And that's just like working, right? I sat behind some desk and that's just like working, right? Just look busy, right? No, it ain't gonna work in a business. It might have worked in your job where you just had to do enough not to get fired and they just had to pay you enough so you don't quit. So that was the job environment. In the business environment, forget about it. If that's your attitude, I can tell you right now, you're not gonna make it, right? So you're gonna have to start using your time very effectively, very productively, but we're gonna talk about that next week. And number 6, do I concentrate on one task at a time until it's finished, right? So again, that's to do with time management, and you really need to focus. Focus is one of the things that, it's not talked enough, I believe, about, because too many people try to do everything at once, right? They hear these things, multiple streams of income, right? Don't put all of your eggs in one basket, right? So they imagine that, oh, I'll do my job and I'll do the network marketing business and I'm going to invest in this and I'm going to get some cryptocurrency and I'm going to do stock market exchange and I'm going to do this, etc. Not at once, right? You can do it, but not at the same time, right? Like there are people who build successful businesses and then they went and invest some of that money into shares. Then they went and opened another business, but not at the same time, right? They built one business until it was successful. Then they went and did another thing. Then they went and did another thing. Then it went, Richard Branson, he's got loads of companies, right? But he didn't build them all at once. He started with one thing. Virgin Records, selling CDs out of the back of his van. That was the beginning, right? And until that was built, he didn't go, I'm going to open another 55 companies, right? Once he got some traction, then he started the momentum, right? But you have to finish at one thing, so I know a lot of you have a job, right? You have a full-time job, you have to pay the bills. That's all fine, right? That's there. But then next thing is your business. So that's one thing you need to focus on, right? People who are looking in our business and in our industry who make huge money, guess what? These guys were not building 5 network marketing companies at the same time. They chose one and they stuck to it, right? They planted their flag and they said, I'm going to make it in here, right? So you need to really, really focus. Don't get distracted. Okay, so let's get to this goal setting time. So number 1 is one major purpose. So today I'm going to ask you to focus on your business goal, because we're all business people here, we're colleagues in FM World. So let's focus on business today. Now, you might, and I would recommend you to set few other goals later on using these same guidelines. But today, I really want you to focus on your business goal, your main business goal. And I always encourage people to set one goal, like an umbrella goal, that if you were to hit that goal, it would knock out a bunch of other smaller goals. So what I mean by that, well, let's say you have one of your business goals is to get a car. Now, that's not a bad business goal, right? To get a Mercedes. Let's say you've got your eye on a C-Class Mercedes, right? And you really, really want that C-Class Mercedes. But guess what? That I wouldn't recommend us setting a goal for that. Instead, I would say, why don't you set a goal to hit a diamond? Because if you hit diamond, that knocks out the car goal because you're going to get the car anyway on the way. That knocks out the income goal because you're going to get a pretty good income on the way as well. That knocks out the building a big team goal out of the way because you're probably going to have a pretty darn big team by the time you hit that. You get what I'm saying? So when you choose a one big goal, that goal can hit, can knock out a bunch of other smaller goals, right? It can be consisted of many other smaller goals. So choose one big goal. Now that doesn't have to be diamond. If you're at 3% right now, it might be 21% or might be a pearl orchid for you, that one big goal, right? But you get what I'm saying, right? Okay, so we're going to go through 12 steps of setting your goal. Let me just see if I can drag this bit out. Where is my mouse? I can't see my mouse. Okay, here, whoops. Can see if I can drag it upstairs. What is happening here? Let me just drag that up. All right, come back to that. Okay, so number 1 is desire, right? So the question is, how much desire do you have? Do you really, really want it, right? So by now, I hope you have that one goal in your mind. But my question now is, how much do you want it? Do you want it bad enough? Because if you go like, yeah, it'd be nice if I hit diamond, it would be great, right? Yeah, you're not going to make it. Forget about it, right? You're not going to make it, right? Because it's not important to you, right? Some of you have heard my money talk a few days ago, right? Like, if it wasn't important for you to get a motorcycle, would you go and buy one? You wouldn't, right? So same here. If it's not really, 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 really important for you to hit that goal, then you're not going to do whatever it takes to get there. You're going to find the excuses, you're going to find the justifications, you're going to blame other things, etc. So number one, how big is your desire? You might need to crank it up. One of the good ways of cranking up the desire is thinking about what achieving this goal would give you, right? And we're going to talk about that later on, right? So, when you start focusing that if I hit that goal, this is what it's going to allow me to do, and this is what it's going to give me, and that's what I'm going to be able to do for my community, and this is what I'm going to be doing. You get what I'm saying? So the more reasons you find to achieve that goal, the more that desire is going to grow, right? Because you're going to go, wow, if I just do this thing, it's going to do so much to me. The number two is belief. How much do I believe in this thing, right? So again, you need to really, really work on yourself and identify, maybe even write this thing down, saying, how much do I believe? Do I believe 100%, like with all of my soul, with all of my guts, that I'm going to achieve this thing, right? I believe that, I will do whatever it takes. I'll believe that this time I'm going to stick to it and do whatever it takes to get to that goal. And that belief, I'm solid. Like it's happened already. I just need to get to that, right? Like, I remember when I was trained in neuro-linguistic programming, my trainer said, she said, look, there's many realities, right? It's like many, many, many lines of possible futures happening at the same time, right? So like your goal, let's say your goal is to hit a diamond, or let's say your goal is to hit Jasper Star, or whatever it is. That thing already happened. That thing already happened. It's already in your timeline. It's already in your lifeline, right? That thing is already exists, right? That where you are hitting that level, where you're achieving that thing, the money is landing in your bank, that thing already happened, right? All you need to do is now fill in the gap between where you are now and where that thing is, which is called the work, right? Our business is called not net sit marketing, not net weight marketing, not hang around marketing, net work marketing, right? So we need to put in some work, right? So we're going to have to do some things, but that thing already happened, right? If you have that belief that my goal, it's done, right? It is done, right? It's happened already. I just need to do whatever it takes to get there, right? I just need to fill in the gap now. I need to fill in the blank space with my efforts, my actions, my prospecting, my recruiting, my training, etc., right? But it is done, right? It's already achieved. Okay, then step number 3, you need to write that goal, right? So you need to sit down, get a notebook, get a journal, get a diary, whatever you're going to use, but you need to write this thing down, right? So you need to write the goal. And there's 3 things that I want you to do when you're writing your goal. Number 1 is start with I. It has to be personal, right? I will blah, 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 blah. Or I am, actually, not I will. I am, right? So the next thing is present tense. So when you're writing your goal, you're not going to write, I will achieve diamond orchid level, right? I am a diamond orchid, or I drive this car, or I am making this type of money, right? So it is as if it's right now. It is done. And it is in positive, right? So when you're writing your goals, let's say you're going to use this system to write other goals. Let's say you want to quit smoking. You wouldn't write, I do not smoke, right? You'd write, I'm a non-smoker, right? You get what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't say, I will not eat bad food, blah, blah, blah. You will say, I eat just good food and I just, spend my time exercising and blah, 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 blah. You get what I'm saying? So it has to be in a positive way written, not in a negative way, right? So these are the 3 things. You start with I, it's in a present tense as if it's already happened. So if you're writing your goal for your house, you write, I live in a house that is, and you start describing your house in detail, right? Same with your goal, right? Don't just write, I am diamond orchid, right? That's not enough detail. You remember what I said earlier on? It has to be in detail. So you have to describe it, everything. How is your life right now? How do you feel about it? How is your family? How is your bank account? How is your finances? How is your home? How is your car? How is everything, right? You need to write this in such a detail as if you see the thing is acting, right? Remember, I remember Jim Rohn saying, he said, before I built the house of my dreams, I used to take my friends to the land lot where I bought the land, and I used to take my friends there to show them around how my house is going to look like. And the house wasn't there, but he goes, I used to describe, this is going to be the kitchen window, and this is the view you're going to see, and this is going to be the couch. And he goes, I described it in such a detail. One of my friends bumped his shoulder in the fireplace. Right? So it has to be so real, right? It has to be in such a detail, right? It has to be really, really in detailed way. Step number 4 then, gain. What are you gonna get from it, right? What are you gonna gain from this scenario? So if you achieve this thing, list it. I mean, I want you to put 50, maybe 100, maybe 200 things that you're gonna get from this thing. If you achieve this goal, this is what you're gonna gain from that, right? And the first 20, 30, 40 will be easy. After that, you're gonna start struggling to think of more. But I challenge you to put at least 100 things you're gonna gain when you achieve this goal. If you spend that time, and it might take you hours to get to that, right? To really, for the first couple, like, oh, the money, this, that, you're going to go like crazy, right? But after some time, you're going to go, what else, right? And you really need to focus. What else you're going to gain? What else you're going to gain? What else you're going to gain, right? Because what we said, the more reasons you have, the more gain you have, the more that feeling will come strong. Because you're going to look at that list and you go, can I compromise on that? Can I give up all of this for being comfortable? Can I give all of this for watching telly every evening? Can I give up all of this for chilling my weekends? Can I give all of this for whatever the excuse I have in my head right now? And you're going to go, look, this is a too big gamble for me, right? I have to achieve this now because I can't sacrifice all of that for some whatever, right? You're going to have, it's just going to build that into you. Step number 5, current status. Now, guess what? This is the time. This is a reality check. Hey, you need to start looking at your current status. So where are you at right now compared to where you want to be? Where is your actions right now compared to where you want to be? Where is your work ethic right now compared to where you want to be? Where is your prospecting right now compared to where you have to be to get to that result? Where is your calling your team members compared to where it should be if you want to build that team? Where is your running home meetings compared to where it's going to be, etc. You need to look at your numbers. You need to be really, really honest with yourself at this point, right? Stop justifying, stop blaming. You are responsible. You are sitting at the driver's seat of that bus, right? Nobody else. You're not a passenger. You're a driver. You are making all the shots here, and you're going to decide where this bus is going. So you have to be real with yourself here and identify your current status. Where am I at right now? Because if you're not where you want to be already, then guess what? It's because of the choices you have made up until now. So those choices, guess what? They're going to have to change. But you have to identify what is the problem before you can move on. Because if you don't identify, then you're just blind shooting. You're just hoping that maybe you'll hit it, by some, luck or whatever. But hey, I wouldn't count, my business. I wouldn't put my business all up to luck, right? You have to be real here. And go, okay, what I need to change? What, practices right now I need to change? What habits right now I need to change, etc. So you need to identify your current status. Step number 6, deadline, right? So when exactly you're going to achieve this thing, right? When is it going to be done, right? So you have to really, really be precise and set a date. Again, realistic, but challenging, so don't go, hey, I'm going to do it next month, because you're going to do it. It's impossible, right? It can't happen. But don't go, oh, I'll hit that level 15 years from now, right? Come on, that's just too wide, right? So you need to put a deadline, but realistic, but challenging. So it stretches you to get there, right? Step number 7, and this is probably one of the most important steps in this whole 12-step process. This is one step that most people don't do when they goal set. They like the fluffy, funny part, which you just went over through, right? What am I gonna get? And what my lifestyle is gonna be like? We all love that, right? Because it's all like dreams and desires and wow, right? But most people don't like this bit when we get to number 7. But this is probably more important than the whole of the other stuff, because this is obstacles. What can stop you? Right now, you need to identify straight away at this time when you're setting your goal, what is going to stop you? What has any chance of stopping you, right? Because guess what? The chances are you've tried to achieve things in the past and you failed for whatever reason. You tried to do this and it didn't happen for whatever reason. Things have happened that stopped you. There are things that are challenging you. There are things that you may be doing yourself to sabotage your own success or whatever. You need to sit down and again write a big list of all the things that could possibly prevent you. I could get lazy. My family could, whatever, this, that, etc., 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 everything. What could stop you from achieving that goal? What could stop you in your tracks? And you need to identify everything. There's this thing called Murphy's Committee or Murphy's Law. And Murphy's Law states that whatever can go wrong will go wrong. Right? Because guess what? If you've never listened to that, listen. It's called, rhinos and cows, right? Google it, go on YouTube, enter rhinos and cows, right? And listen to that story. Because if you want to go through that jungle where on the other side there is this everything that you desire, you're going to have to go through some jungle, right? And you're going to have to become a rhino, not a cow, because cow just stays in a pasture and grazes on the grass. This is the 97% of the population that works for the other 3% of the population, right? So you need to identify all of the bad things, all of the challenges that the universe can throw at you to test you, right? The best thing that I've ever heard was somebody said, when God sends you a gift, he wraps it up in problems. And whether you are able to overcome those problems will determine if you are worthy of the gift inside, right? Because life doesn't respond to need. Many people need more money. It doesn't mean they're going to get it. Many people need a better relationship. It doesn't mean they're going to get it. Many people need a better health. It doesn't mean they're going to get it. The question is, do they deserve that more money? Do they deserve a better relationship? Do they deserve a better health? And how do we deserve? When we go to work, right? When we put the effort in, when we overcome those challenges, when we overcome those limiting beliefs, that's when we deserve those things, right? So obstacles, really, really important step. List all the things that could stop you. Very easy. Just ask yourself right now, what is stopping me from greatness right now? Why am I not already where I want to be, right? What has stopped me so far? Is it my mindset? Is it my habits? Is it my surrounding people? Is it whatever, right? Identify all of those things. Okay, step number 8, knowledge. What will I need to learn in order to achieve this goal? Whose advice will I need to seek to achieve this goal, right? So what information do I need to get that right now maybe I don't have to achieve my goal, right? So if you're struggling right now to recruit, maybe you need to learn how to recruit. If you're struggling right now once you recruited these people to get them to do something, then maybe you need to get knowledge how to keep people in a business, how to get people started. If you're struggling with whatever, right? You need to identify all of those things and think, where will I get this knowledge? Do I need to go and buy myself a book, right? This is a good book I would recommend you to buy, right? This book is called Building an Empire. It's written by a guy called Brian Carruthers. This guy has built a team of 400,000 people, right? And he made over $15 million, right? So the guy knows a thing or two about network marketing. Go and get this book. It's going to cost you 18 pounds. Guess what? Skip a Chinese takeaway this month. Skip some beer this weekend or whatever, and this will pay for the best book in your life, right? Get the book and read it, right? What other knowledge you need? Maybe handling, money, maybe handling rejection, maybe whatever, right? Whatever knowledge you need. So write a list. What do I not know right now that I need to know in order for me to achieve this goal, right? And then you'll find out where I need to get it, So maybe it's books, maybe it's people, maybe it's seminars, maybe it's trainings, maybe it's webinars, maybe it's one-on-one coaching, whatever, right? But you're going to have to get that knowledge. But you need to know what you need to know, right? Okay, step number 9, help, right? What help do I need to get to my goal, right? Too many people's egos are like that, right? They think they know it all. They think they can do everything by themselves, etc. You can't do shit, right? If you could do it, you'd be there already, right? So if you're not there already, there might be some things that you need to help with, right? So you might need to get a bit more humble and go and speak to your sponsor. Go and speak to your upline leader who's already getting those results and say, hey, I don't know what to do. Look, I've tried, but it didn't work for me, right? I didn't listen to you. I didn't learn from you. Now is the time when I go, look, I need to follow your advice because you already got those results. You already done what it needs to be done, right? How can I do the same thing? Can you please mentor me, right? And you might have to do some stuff to get that help from these people, right? And that's another question, right? But identify who are the people whose help I will need to hit that rank or to hit that goal or whatever. It might be your sponsor. It might be people in the company. It might be people outside the company. It might be your family members. It might be your friends. It might be whatever. Who are the people whose help you're going to need to get to that goal, to achieve that goal? And again, many people think of this only after they already set out to achieve the goal. But guess the power of it. If you identify this way in advance, now you're starting with an action plan. You're going, okay, I need to speak to this guy, this lady, this woman, this person, etc. Because these all are people going to play a key role in me achieving my goal, right? So whose help you're going to need, right? Who are the people you need to speak to get this thing moving, right? Okay, step number 10 is a plan. So the plan will involve the last 3 steps, right? So your plan will involve the people's help you need, it will involve the knowledge you need to gain, and the obstacles you need to overcome. So in your plan, step number 10, you need to write down, how will I overcome all of these obstacles? So now that you've identified all of those obstacles that could stop you, so let's say, if I get lazy, I might stop and do this thing. So how am I going to overcome that? Or if this bad habit takes control of me, that might prevent me from achieving. So what is my action plan to stop this habit from preventing me from achieving my goal, right? So you straight away make a game plan for every worst case scenario, right? So you're making a contingency plan for every bad thing that could ever happen, right? So if you get hit with that, you go, no problem, I've got a plan for that. Something else happens, you go, no problem, I thought of that already, I've got a game plan for that, right? So when that happens, I do this. When this happens, I go and speak to that person. When I get down, this is what I do, right? So you have a plan for every obstacle and how to overcome it. Knowledge, you make a plan. How am I going to gain that knowledge? Which books I'm going to get, what I'm going to read, what I'm going to listen to, who I'm going to talk to, etc. What's going to go into my head over the next, whatever the time period is. Maybe your plan is 90-day game plan. Maybe it's next 6 months. Maybe it's a year. Maybe it's whatever, right? Well, you go, okay, wait, how am I going to gain this knowledge? Where am I going to get my hands on it? Maybe I'm going to borrow some books. Maybe I'm going to do this and that, etc., right? Step number 9, help. People whose help I'm going to need, right? So how am I going to get the help of those people, right? Because some people, if it's your sponsor, guess what? They're going to help you because the more money you make, the more money they make. So there's no reason why they wouldn't help you, right? But you might need the help of somebody outside the company. You might need the help of somebody in your family. So you might need to barter some stuff. You go, look, I need your support over the next 6 months, but in exchange for that, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go on this holiday. We're going to do this. You might need the help of your kids, right? Of them to say, hey, look, guys, you're not going to see me for the next whatever, right? Because I'm going to really work, but then we're going to Disneyland, or then we're doing whatever, right? So you're going to have to make a plan. How am I going to get the help of those people, right? Because again, if you don't make a plan, you're going to, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You all heard that cliche, right? So you really need to work on that. So that's number 10 is the plan, right? Make a plan. Go without a plan, it ain't going to happen. I'm telling you, it ain't going to happen, right? You have to make a plan. Step number 11 is visualization, right? You need to practice this thing now every single day. As soon as you wake up and before you go to bed, you visualize this thing as if it already happened, right? So if it's like, let's say you set your goal to become a diamond, right? So you need to visualize the last moment when you know it's done, right? So for you, it might be money, getting into your account, or it might be you going at the national conference on the stage, picking up a diploma for that level, or whatever it is. But think of the last moment when that happens, I know it's done, right? So when you thought of that, this is the moment, this is the little movie you need to replay and replay and replay and replay and replay in your mind every single day until you fool your mind into believing that it's already happened, right? Guess what? When athletes prepare for Olympics or they prepare for big events, what they do in their mind, they play the thing in their mind, like if it's a long jump. So the guy in his mind, he's seeing himself running up and jumping, running up and jumping. And guess what? Your mind is so stupid It doesn't know when it's true or not. So when you're imagining yourself running and jumping, your mind thinks that that's already actually happening. So when you actually go to run and jump, your mind goes, well, you've done it 100 times already, right? So how can it be, right? So you can trick your mind into thinking that that thing is already happened. You already achieved your goal. If you keep visualizing, seeing with vivid detail, what do you feel? What do you hear? What do you see? What do you sense? You know, with all of your senses in that moment, right? It is done. You are there. You are achieving it, right? You're picking up that check or you're picking up that diploma. Everybody's clapping. You know, you've got your family and dear ones there, etc. You see the whole thing and then you visualize it every single day. Morning, evening, morning, evening. If you can, middle of the day as well. See that thing. Become obsessed by it. And then you're going to get it. I'm telling you. You're going to fool your brain into believing it's already done. And then your brain is going to go, we just need to get it done. We're just going to need to go and do it, right? So that's visualization. And then step number 12, the last step is resolve. Resolve to do it no matter what. You've heard me say this before. There's 3 levels of commitment. Most people, their level of commitment, I'll try, right? That just means I'll quit, just I don't know when, right? That's not very good commitment. The second level of commitment, I will do my best. Slightly better than I'll try, but most people, whatever they think their best is not even close to what they actually can do. And the last is I will do whatever it takes. And that's really, guys, the commitment I want you to have. I want you to have the commitment that I will do whatever it takes, right? That's the only level of commitment you can have, right? This is the only level. Whoa, I can see a lot of people on the score, guys. I like that. I like what I'm seeing. Hello, hello, hello. Let me just pop your mics up. We've got just very few seconds left. Hi, 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 hi.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
How was this? Did you pick up anything?
Hi.
Did you learn something?
Just say thank you very much, Gedas. Absolutely wonderful. Very insightful and really got my mind thinking, you know, even after many years in the business, you know, giving me real food for thought there. So thank you. Very, very, very hard hitting. I like it. I will do whatever it takes. Please, guys, type any questions, even if the Zoom ends. Please post any questions to myself or Gedas, and we will respond to you.
Patrick's saying it went too fast. Yeah, I know. Cool, guys. Awesome. So, you know, really,